Just a short video today. We're going to be doing the same idea, graphing the simple functions. We're going to be doing more sketching today, focused more on asymptotes. So, first part of the notes, and again, these will be posted. Asymptotes for simple functions in this form. And we say these are simple because they're about to get a lot more complicated. What we basically have is the same idea as shifts and transformations. H is in the denominator. This moves it left to right. So if you think about movement left and right, we're talking about the vertical asymptote moving. So H will determine the vertical asymptote, and K moves the graph up and down. So we're talking about a horizontal asymptote being moved. So the vertical asymptote will always be X equals H. And the horizontal asymptote will always be Y equals K. So, a very quick example. I have 3 as my A value. All that does is take it and stretch it. Let me talk a little bit more about the parent function quickly, just briefly. So, a basic parent function for these, if I just have 1 over x, as basic as one of these rationals can become, what we're looking at is following an asymptote of 0, coming down, following an asymptote of 0, follows an asymptote of 0, comes this way, follows an asymptote of 0. So it's two separate sections of a graph, both going towards infinity in multiple directions. Now, if this value a changes, that's just going to stretch it out. So, like in ours, it's 3 in the numerator. So that's just going to, instead of being so tight to the line, it's just going to stretch it out away from the line. The bigger that number that gets, the farther away it is going to be from the line. So let's say this is a really big number. That's going to make it be way out here, really stretched out. Okay, far away from that, so it'd be really stretched out there. H is just going to shift all this left and right. K is going to shift it up and down. So, back to our example. So what I have is a x minus 4 in the denominator. So H would be positive 4. We're going to use the opposite of what we see. So H itself is positive 4 because minus is part of the equation, x minus, so H itself is just 4. So the vertical asymptote is x equals 4. Horizontal is going to be y equals k, and that is, and k value is negative 6. So equals k is negative 6. Okay. Now, down in this one, what I'm going to ask you to do in your homework is identify the asymptotes, identify a couple of points, and make a sketch. So when I look at this one, yeah, this is going to be negative 2, so it's going to be flipped upside down from what we would expect. Vertical asymptote is x equals negative 2. See, I have x plus 2 here, so x plus 2. So that would mean h is actually negative 2. And the horizontal is plus 4. So y equals 4 is the horizontal. Again, h, x equals h, horizontal is y equals k. Alright. Now, the vertical asymptote will act as a divider, breaking the graph into two sections. And you can see the graph here that I've already made. But I draw that vertical asymptote as a divider. Here's my horizontal asymptote. I want you to draw both of them with dashed lines and label them. But you're going to pick one point in each section. And it can be any point. It could have been, I used negative 4 and 0. It could have been negative 3, which would be this point here, and negative 1, which would be this point right here. Okay, just one point in each section. And then use that and the asymptotes to draw your graphs. And that's what that looks like. I'm going to do it from scratch here very quickly. So what I know is that I have a vertical asymptote as x equals negative 2, horizontal asymptote at y equals 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my vertical asymptote at x equals negative 2. So I have negative 2 here, and I'm going to draw that vertical asymptote and label it as x equals -2. So now I have two sections. I also know the horizontal asymptote is at y equals 4. I like drawing the asymptotes before I do any points, but you don't have to do it that way. And there's my horizontal asymptote. So I have two sections. Now typically, like the parent function, it's in the bottom left or quadrant 3 and the top right quadrant 1. So I would expect it to be here and here. However, because there was a negative in the numerator, that -2, I would expect it to see up here and up here. That's actually completely irrelevant. The two sections are always divided by the vertical asymptote. So I just need 1 point on this side of the vertical asymptote and 1 point on this side. And we don't want to be too far out because all that's going to show is a point near the asymptote. We want it to be fairly close to the vertical asymptote. So again, I could have done -3 and -1. Plug those in and gotten points. I chose to do -4 and 0. And -4 gave me 5. And 0 gave me 3. And that is enough to make a sketch of this graph because I know that it's going to be following the asymptote. It's not going to cross over, so I know it's going to follow it here and come up and follow it something like that. Again, we're just roughly sketching right now. And it's going to follow this asymptote here, and it's going to come down and follow this asymptote here. So again, 1 point in each section. If I have my asymptotes drawn with that 1 point, I should be able to sketch it because I know the graph will follow the asymptotes.